Thank you, Chairman. Ms. Vogt, congratulations on your nomination. I enjoyed working with you when you were up here before, and I know you'll do a great job. We've seen the bloating in the federal government under the Biden administration. In his 4 years alone, he's added $8 trillion to the national debt. He's increased our federal spending by 53%. Our population is up 2%. We cannot continue down this path of spending way above pre-pandemic levels. And with the past 4 years of Joe Biden, there hasn't been any serious discussion or plan how to control spending or reduce our now $36 trillion worth of debt. If you travel around Florida, here's what you're going to hear from people. They can't afford it. They can't afford this inflation. They said, you know, I could afford to live a few years ago, but today with this inflation, and I can't go buy a house, interest rates are up, I can't buy a car, I better sure as heck pay off my credit card because I've got high interest rates there. So what are some of the things that you think are doable to deal with inflation and interest rates?
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate the kind words. Obviously, one of the things that our past budgets have really gone after is non-defense discretionary spending, which just so happens to be where the bureaucracy is funded on an annual basis, and which gives members, senators, the annual ability to go after some of that waste. And many of it shows up in the reports from Senator Paul on an annual basis. But it also is those agencies that I think have been overbearing on the American people, and I think that will be one of those areas that we can target first. But the president has also put forward reforms to to reduce or have better outcomes with regard to welfare, get people back into the labor force, and those are potentially substantial amounts of savings as well.
So what's the right way of looking at this? We've seen since pre-pandemic, we've seen about a $2 trillion increase in spending. So is the right way of looking at this saying, let's go back, like in my business life, what we do is to say, this is what our revenues are going to be. You know, so we're not going to spend more than that, and hopefully we're going to have a profit. So is it the right way of looking at this is saying, why do we have this unbelievably increase in spending? Should we go back and say, why can't we go back to 2019 or 2020 spending rather than be stuck with where we are now?
It is certainly a valid line of reasoning, and one that we will explore if confirmed in trying to think through what our fiscal goals might be. Certainly been aware of the debates up here, as you all have been trying to get the country's attention with regard to where we are fiscally, and we will look for those types of opportunities if confirmed.
So the regulatory costs up here, when I was governor of Florida, we added 1.7 million jobs. When we cut taxes and fees 100 times, so what really had the biggest impact, we reduced 20% of the regulatory environment, and we streamlined the permitting environment. It could take you 2 years to get a permit you were entitled to under our water management districts. We got it down to just a few days because you were entitled to it. You didn't have to go hire a lawyer, didn't have to go hire lobbyists to get it done. So what are some of the things you think we can be doing with what you're going to do with DOGE to reduce, one, the cost, increase the economy, and build up the economy?
Well, certainly in the first term, the president was very active in this area. It was one of his main deregulatory priorities. He was horrified by the extent to which all of these projects would take decades to get approval, and his view was that agents should be on a time clock. Doesn't mean you're always going to win if you're the person who's trying to do the project, but the agency should respond quickly. And that's the way he thinks, and that's the way I think you'll see many of our deregulatory ideas and initiatives to flow out of that viewpoint.
So what's success for you? So let's say you're confirmed and you have the job for 4 years. At the end of 4 years, what would you say, I was successful in this role because of what?
I want to do the best that I can to implement the president's agenda. My hope is that we're able to deal with the spending components of inflation to get a handle on our fiscal house. The president's put forward budgets before, and I expect him to put up similar budgets that deal with that problem, and to be able to get the regulatory apparatus that we had in the first term back in place, where we're actually deregulating as opposed to putting endless burdens on the American people. I think that's how we would define success at the end of the term.
So why is this job important to you? Why do you want to go back and do this? What drives you to do it?
Well, I think the president deserves to, having done this the first time, people who know how to do the job, can do it well on day one, who can implement his agenda. And it's very rare in life that you get an opportunity to think about a job for 4 years and to try to go back and even do it even better. I think the president deserves that, and I'm looking forward to being confirmed, if confirmed by the Senate, and doing that job.
All right. Thank you, Chairman. I yield back.